All right, good morning, everyone. This is a special meeting of Gillespie County Commissioners Court. We're going to call the meeting to order. It is August 21st, 2026. It's 9:01 a.m. Commissioner Yancey is absent this morning. All other members of the court are present. We have one item on our agenda, which is to consider implementing a burn ban. We have two public comments to be made on that item. Also, as far as, did you want to make a presentation?
I can wait until you.
Okay, I just didn't know who else was going to speak. Was it?
I'll be happy to if you want me to.
Okay. Yeah, if you can go ahead and give, I guess, presentation recommendations on conditions.
Thank you. Well, there's the old discussion.
A couple of years ago.
Come on. Well, I want to thank you, Judge. I appreciate it so much accommodating this. It was we had our regular meeting this past Wednesday, as I relayed to you, and those conversations are so helpful when we can get together face to face in the room and we can talk openly and honestly with each other and consider this matter and other things. It just that time was very helpful. So, from that we recognize that we're in this transition zone. We just had an incredible spring, this growing season, and up to now it's just been awesome. And I think of people like Roy Weinheimer, for example, what he would say here in late August. If I'd like to drive in the pasture or get in the pickup with him, and if he would remember a season like this, I just love to hear those comments from that legacy cattleman like that. So, it's been a year, but we're transitioning from that season to more of a dry time, and the numbers, the data points are pretty moderate still. They're turning, no doubt. We're on the downhill slide, but they're still up in that basically that moderate range, and the outlook ahead is not very good. When I say the outlook ahead, I'm talking about the next 3 or 4 weeks. Actually, more short term. We're hearing about the El Nino thing, so see what happens in the winter time as that develops. But in the near term, things will change from a more moderate fashion into possibly worse. And so we're coming to you today to recommend that we go ahead and move it, be ahead of the game, if you will, and move into that. Recommend to you that we move into a burn ban at this point.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the commissioners or discussion? Okay.
I would like to, maybe I could add at this point, I was going to wait a bit, but other things that we talk about, this isn't going to be a cure-all. This isn't going to fix everything. In fact, if we look back over the last several weeks, the more intentional type things that happened were very minimal. Visiting with Les Metzler and the dispatch, the calls coming into dispatch are few, requesting that they do a more control type burn. They're very few. So I say that because I want to commend the citizens of this county are incredible. They're fixing it themselves, actually. And so to come in here, I wish there was a different way to do this, to just make this strong statement and say we feel like it's time for a burn ban. It seems to be kind of pointed to a group of folks that are already doing the right thing for the most part. We're going to have the haying operations that we've seen. We're going to have the mowing, shredding, welding. Fence builders are going to have it. Power lines has been another thing that's been popping up from here and there. Some random roadside starts that just start to appear when you get to this more critical time. So just saying that we're still going to be busy. We anticipate being busy. But this is the statement I think that we need to make now. Appreciate the time.
Well, Steve, I'll say I'm 100% agreeant. I will say that yesterday the 10-day forecast was no rain in sight. If you look at it this morning, there's 2 days there's a chance of rain. So when we usually have a burn ban implemented, that's our best chance of rain. So I'm optimistic that implementing this will come to rain.
You bet. We're trying hard. We're trying hard. You bet. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Ms. Robach?
We have audio visual aids.
Okay.
Okay.
This was a crabapple fire. This was our property and all of our things. It should come as no surprise that we want the temporary burn ban. Rapid fuel drying, strained emergency resources, human cost prevention, we know that. Arguments against disruption of ag operations, economic burden on alternate disposal methods, infringement of private property rights, and Gillespie County has microrequirements. Those are the things that we are getting pushback on when we talk about burn bans. Immediate public safety has to take precedence over seasonal land maintenance, and remember, it's only a temporary delay. A burn ban does not permanently cancel ag maintenance. It only pauses it until weather conditions lower risk of catastrophic fires. The economic burden, the localized cost of chipping or hauling is a fraction of the taxpayer cost required to deploy emergency aircraft engines and personnel to fight a massive fire. Landowners who opt for alternate disposal methods can actually eliminate the personal, financial, and legal liability if the fire escapes from their control. Infringement on private property rights versus collective responsibility. Property owners are legally bound by duty not to endanger the lives and livelihoods of the surrounding community. Microclimates, it could be rain in somewhere and not the other. If they did little patchwork, burn bans on some areas that are dry, it's just gonna create confusion and make it a nightmare for the poor dispatchers who already are overworked anyway. So, this is our house, March 15th, during the 2025, during the crabapple fire. We got out with clothes on our back and our dogs. Everything else was pretty much destroyed. The only thing, our 26 acres, you can see the picture that was on the newspaper. The fire went right over the top of the barn door, and because we had a barn door, that's why we didn't completely lose it, but it burned out, busted out all the windows. It burned all the downspouts, all the sheet metal on the outside. And it was about 6 months before we could move back in. The well pump had burned the wires, and the well pump dropped 350 feet down to the bottom of the well, so they had to fish out parts for that. We had no power. All the power poles were burnt. They fell on top of the motorhome up too. So, and then a month later, the fire started back up again into the roots of the oak trees. So we're still trying to dig out. Here it is almost 18 months later, and we're still feeling it. I would imagine we did probably about $500,000 worth of damage. USAA gave us back 250, thank you. But we're still struggling. So we don't know if a burn ban could have prevented the fire. They said it started on the roadside, but they don't know. They know the point of origin, but they don't know the exact cause. If there had been a burn ban, would it have poised everyone into a ready state to, a possible spark? Could, ag and mechanical and everything else, exercise, operations been suspended? People would be more vigilant carrying water, that type of thing. So we don't know for sure. But we were here to ask, please, we don't want to do this again. We sure hated that. So thank you. You're next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Mr. Robach, did you want to make a comment?
Yes, a few, not much. Covered most of it. You guys are guys, so I know you're gonna appreciate this. That's a 1996 Ford F-350 diesel with a manual transmission. And that was my baby. I still had it up till last year, and you can see it's in good shape. That's it afterwards. It's in no shape. There's the aluminum wheels melted. My brand new tractor, and some of these photos I took, and I was there when it was pretty dangerous. I shouldn't have been there. It was a harrowing experience. What caused that fire, we don't know. 35 to 55 mile an hour winds with the dry environment, the prolonged dry spell, caused that fire to explode and cover 9,800 acres, over 9,800 acres and 30 structures. And some of the structures is mine. County burn bans prevent disasters by targeting high-risk activities, restricting outside hot work near dry fuels, a comprehensive burn ban in place would have aligned resources to fight fire. Gillespie County was not under a burn ban when the fire began. Subsequently, an emergency burn ban was declared right after the fire. That's kind of shutting the gate after the livestock has left. Then it's kind of, it's more reactive than proactive. And that's a dangerous gamble. Generating a psychological deterrent, a pre-existing burn ban changes the public's behavior. Having zero flames across the county reduces possibilities of fire. It broadcasts a high visibility warning to all residents, and including some of the tourists that come. And the old, I think I smell smoke, is no longer a fleeting thought. People will double check their property. People towing trailers will double check their chains. And others are producing devices. But you would think common sense rules. Unfortunately, it doesn't. So I encourage the court to enact burn ban. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Robert.
Thank you. All right, any other discussion? Any other input needed from other sources?
The only thing I'd say is that our extremely high temperatures are drying out our existing fuel base to make it extremely worse at this point. And there's not a relief in sight in the next couple of weeks. So we're just, our fuel source on the ground is getting more flammable by the day, so. I move to approve the implementation of the burn ban effective immediately.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to enact a burn ban effective immediately. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We'll consider that to be in effect at 9:15 a.m. on August 21st. We'll prepare the order and get that disseminated immediately to public. We'll get it to emergency management, everyone else in local agencies.
Thank you
Good
very
job.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
The same parameters as before, the same exemptions, and you can remove it upon a recommendation.
Yeah, that's the standard one that's the standard format that we always do, unless there's a need to do anything. I mean, I assume that's what the motion intended, since it was not specific beyond that.
But I will say this, is that rain in the fall doesn't necessarily change the fuel on the ground. It's still there. It may be wet for a few days, but until we get new green growth, it's still a lot of fuel.
Maybe bigger concern is it freezes and It'll still be there.
All right, any other discussion, comments before we adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 And we are adjourned at 9:16 a.m. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Hey, Chris.
Yes, please do. Oh, okay, I'll.